To the empire we'll build, Grant declares, his voice booming through the microphone. The crystal champagne flute trembles in my hand as I force a smile. Across the room, Vivian's calculating gaze sends a chill down my spine. My name is Lena, and tonight marks the beginning of my husband's reign as president of Whitmore Industries. It should be a moment of triumph, but all I feel is dread. The ballroom of the Whitmore mansion glitters with wealth and ambition. Executives in tailored suits mingle with socialites dripping in diamonds. I stand beside Grant, playing the part of the supportive wife, but I've never felt more alone.
Speech.
Speech, someone calls out. Grant grins, basking in the attention. Friends, family, esteemed colleagues, he begins. This is just the start. With your support, we'll take Whitmore Industries to heights my father never dreamed possible. Polite applause ripples through the crowd. I catch Clark's eye across the room. His smile doesn't quite reach his eyes. And of course, Grant continues, wrapping an arm around my waist, I couldn't do it without my beautiful wife, Lena. The spotlight shifts to me. I plaster on my best smile, acutely aware of Vivian's disapproving frown. Thank you all for coming, I say, my voice steadier than I feel. We're so grateful for your support. As the party resumes, Grant is quickly swept away by a group of investors. I find myself drifting towards the bar, desperate for a moment of peace. Quite the spectacle, isn't it? Clark appears beside me, his voice low. I nod, grateful for his presence. It's overwhelming. How are you holding up, Lena? He asks, genuine concern in his eyes. Before I can answer, Vivian materializes, her perfectly coiffed hair gleaming under the chandeliers. There you are, she says, her tone sharp. Grant's looking for you. The Hendersons want a photo. I suppress a sigh and follow her across the room. As we walk, Vivian leans in close. Remember your place, Lena, she hisses. This is Grant's moment. Don't embarrass us. The words sting, but I've learned to hide my reactions. I paste on another smile as we approach Grant and the Hendersons. There's my girl, Grant says, pulling me close. His breath smells of expensive scotch. Mr. Henderson was just telling me about an exciting new opportunity in Singapore. I nod politely, my mind racing. Singapore? We'd never discussed moving overseas. As the night wears on, I find myself retreating to a quiet corner. The constant smiling, the vapid small talk, it's all becoming too much. You look like you could use this, a familiar voice says. Maya appears, offering me a glass of water. My savior. I murmur gratefully. Maya's eyes narrow as she surveys the room. How are you really doing, Lena? And don't give me that I'm fine bullshit. I hesitate, torn between loyalty and honesty. It's complicated. I finally admit. Grant's different lately, more distant, and Vivian is still a nightmare. Maya finishes. I can't help but laugh. You could say that. Our conversation is cut short as Grant's voice booms through the speakers once more. If I could have everyone's attention, please. The crowd quiets, all eyes turning towards the makeshift stage. Grant stands there, looking every inch the powerful CEO in his tailored suit. I want to thank you all again for being here tonight, he says. But there's one more announcement I'd like to make. My stomach twists. This isn't part of the plan we discussed. As we embark on this new chapter for Whitmore Industries, we need to streamline our operations, Grant continues. Which is why I've decided to bring in some fresh blood to our executive team. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. I catch sight of Vivian, her face glowing with pride. Please join me in welcoming our new Chief Operating Officer, Grant says, gesturing towards the wings. Tessa Monroe. A statuesque blonde glides onto the stage, her red dress clinging to every curve. She beams at the crowd, then turns to plant a kiss on Grant's cheek. The room erupts in applause, but I barely hear it over the roaring in my ears. I've never seen this woman before in my life. As Tessa begins to speak, I feel Maya's hand on my arm. Lena, she whispers, are you okay? I shake my head, unable to form words. Across the room, I lock eyes with Vivian. Her triumphant smirk tells me everything I need to know. This isn't just a new chapter for Whitmore Industries. It's the beginning of the end of my marriage. As the party continues around me, one thought crystallizes in my mind: I will not go down without a fight. The harsh fluorescent lights of the Whitmore Industries office buzz overhead as I pore over the latest financial reports. It's been 2 weeks since Grant's promotion party, and the cracks in our relationship are widening by the day. Lena, did you finish those projections? Grant's voice crackles through the intercom, impatient and distant. I suppress a sigh. Almost done. I'll bring them in 5 minutes. Make it 3, he snaps before cutting the connection. As I gather the papers, my eyes catch on a photo on my desk, Grant and me on our honeymoon, carefree and in love. It feels like a lifetime ago. I knock on Grant's office door, steeling myself for another tense interaction. Come in, he barks. I enter to find Grant hunched over his computer, barely glancing up as I approach. Here are the projections you asked for, I say, placing the folder on his desk. He grunts in acknowledgement, still not meeting my eyes. What about the Henderson account? Any progress there? I've scheduled a meeting for next week. They seem interested in expanding their investment. Grant finally looks up, a flash of approval in his eyes. Good. That's good work, Lena. For a moment, I see a glimmer of the man I married. But it's gone in an instant as his phone buzzes. He snatches it up, a small smile playing on his lips as he reads the message. That'll be all. He dismisses me with a wave of his hand. As I turn to leave, a slip of paper falls from the folder. I bend to pick it up, freezing as I realize what it is: a receipt for a diamond necklace from Tiffany's. A necklace I've never seen. What's this? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. Grant's head snaps up, his eyes widening as he sees the receipt in my hand. It's nothing, he says quickly. Just a business expense. A $50,000 business expense. I counter, my heart pounding. He stands abruptly, snatching the paper from my grasp. I said it's nothing, Lena. Don't you have work to do? I leave his office in a daze, my mind racing. As I settle back at my desk, my phone lights up with a text from Maya. Lunch today? We need to talk. An hour later, I'm sitting across from Maya at our favorite cafe, picking at a salad I can't bring myself to eat. Spill, Maya demands, her eyes filled with concern. What's going on with you and Grant? I hesitate, then the words tumble out in a rush. I tell her about Grant's distant behavior, the suspicious receipt, the growing pit in my stomach. Maya listens intently, her frown deepening. Lena, she says gently, I hate to say this, but there are rumors. My heart sinks. What kind of rumors? She takes a deep breath. People have seen Grant with another woman. Multiple times. Always very close. The world seems to tilt on its axis. I knew things weren't right, but hearing it confirmed is like a punch to the gut. Who? I managed to choke out. Maya shakes her head. I don't know her name, but she's apparently new to the company. Tall, blonde, always dressed to the nines. Tessa Monroe. The pieces start to fall into place, and I feel sick. What are you going to do? Maya asks, reaching across the table to squeeze my hand. I straighten my shoulders, a spark of determination igniting within me. I'm going to find out the truth. And then, I don't know. As I return to the office, I notice hushed conversations stopping abruptly as I pass. Sympathetic glances follow me down the hallway. I've become the object of pity, and the realization burns. I throw myself into work, determined to prove my worth beyond being Grant's wife. Hours fly by as I meticulously comb through accounts, finding discrepancies and inefficiencies that have been overlooked. It's past 9 when I finally look up from my computer. The office is deserted, save for a light still burning in Grant's office. Taking a deep breath, I gather my courage and knock on his door. No answer. I push it open slowly, ready to leave the files on his desk. But the sight that greets me stops me cold. Grant is there, but he's not alone. Tessa Monroe is perched on his desk, her legs crossed provocatively as she leans in close to him. They spring apart as the door creaks, guilt written across their faces. Lena, Grant exclaims, his voice strained. What are you still doing here? I stand frozen in the doorway, my eyes darting between them. The diamond necklace glitters at Tessa's throat, mocking me. I say slowly, my voice steadier than I feel, that I'm finally seeing things clearly. Without another word, I turn and walk away, leaving Grant's protests echoing behind me. As I step into the cool night air, a strange calm settles over me. The facade has cracked wide open, and there's no going back. It's time to decide what kind of life I want to build from the rubble. I fumble with my keys, exhaustion weighing heavily on my shoulders as I finally unlock the front door. The house is eerily quiet, a stark contrast to the chaos swirling in my mind. I've spent the last few hours driving aimlessly, trying to process what I saw in Grant's office. Grant. I call out, my voice echoing through the empty foyer. No response. As I step into the living room, I freeze. A statuesque blonde is lounging on my couch, swirling a glass of red wine. My favorite vintage. Well, she drawls, her lips curving into a predatory smile. The little wife finally comes home. My heart pounds as recognition dawns. Tessa Monroe, I say, my voice barely above a whisper. She stands, smoothing down her designer dress. In the flesh. I was beginning to think you'd never show up. What are you doing in my house? I demand, finding my voice. Tessa laughs, a tinkling sound that grates on my nerves. Oh, honey, I think we both know this isn't really your house anymore. I clench my fists, fighting to maintain composure. Where's Grant? Out, she says dismissively. Damage control, I'm sure. Your little scene at the office caused quite a stir. Anger flares within me. My scene? You're the one who what? Tessa interrupts, her eyes glittering dangerously. Who saw an opportunity and took it. Face it, Lena. You were holding Grant back. He needs a partner who can keep up with his ambitions. And you think that's you? I scoff. She shrugs, the diamond necklace, my necklace, catching the light. I know it's me. Grant and we understand each other. We're building an empire together. The words hit me like a physical blow, echoing Grant's toast from that fateful party. I open my mouth to retort, but the sound of the front door opening cuts me off. Lena? Grant's voice calls out, tinged with panic. Are you here? We need to talk. He stops short as he enters the living room, his eyes darting between Tessa and me. What's going on here? He asks, his face pale. Tessa slinks over to him, wrapping an arm around his waist. Just getting acquainted with the soon-to-be ex-Mrs. Whitmore, she purrs. I watch as Grant flinches, guilt flashing across his face. But he doesn't push Tessa away. Lena, I can explain, he starts, but I cut him off with a bitter laugh. Explain what, Grant? How you've been lying to me, cheating on me, making a fool of me in front of everyone we know. He takes a step towards me, hands outstretched. It's not like that. Things just happened. I never meant to hurt you. Save it, I snap. I don't want to hear your excuses. The tension in the room is palpable, crackling like electricity. But before anyone can say another word, the front door swings open once again. Grant? Lena? Is everything all right? Vivian's imperious voice rings out. I saw both your cars outside, and she stops abruptly as she takes in the scene before her. For a moment, shock registers on her face. Then, to my utter disbelief, she composes herself and turns to Tessa with a warm smile. Tessa, darling, she coos, embracing the other woman. I didn't expect to see you here. I feel like I've stepped into some bizarre alternate reality. You've got to be kidding me, I mutter. Vivian turns to me, her eyes cold. Lena, dear, I think it's time we had a frank discussion about the future of this family. The future of this family? I repeat incredulously. You can't be serious. I'm always serious when it comes to the Whitmore legacy, Vivian says firmly. Grant needs a partner who can support his vision, who understands the demands of his position. And you think that's her? I gesture towards Tessa, who's watching the exchange with barely concealed glee. Vivian sighs, as if explaining something to a child. Tessa has connections ambition. She can open doors that you simply can't, Lena. I turned to Grant, searching his face for any sign of the man I married. And you? Is this what you want? He at least has the decency to look ashamed. Lena,
I'm sorry.
But maybe my mother has a point. The company needs. The company? I interrupt, my voice rising. What about our marriage? What about the vows we made? Sometimes sacrifices must be made for the greater good. Vivian interjects smoothly. I'm sure we can come to some sort of arrangement, a generous settlement, perhaps? The realization hits me like a tidal wave. They've planned this. All of them. I'm being neatly excised from the Whitmore family, like a tumor to be removed. Get out, I say quietly. Excuse me? Vivian bristles. I said, get out. I shout, surprising even myself with the force of my words. All of you. This is still my house, and I want you out.
Now.
For a moment, no one moves. Then Grant nods, taking Tessa's arm. Come on, he murmurs. We should go. As they file out, Vivian pauses at the door. Think carefully about your next move, Lena, she warns. Don't do anything rash. The door closes behind them, leaving me alone in the sudden silence. I sink to the floor, my legs no longer able to support me. Tears threaten to fall, but I blink them back furiously.
No.
I won't give them the satisfaction of breaking me. As the shock begins to fade, a new emotion takes its place. Determination. They think they can push me aside? They have no idea who they're dealing with. This isn't the end. It's just the beginning. The Whitmore mansion looms before me, its grandeur now feeling more like a prison than a home. I take a deep breath, steeling myself for the family dinner ahead. It's been a week since the confrontation with Tessa and Vivian, and Grant's pathetic attempts at reconciliation have fallen on deaf ears. As I enter, the tension is palpable. Clark greets me with a warm hug, his eyes conveying silent support. Vivian's smile is brittle as she air kisses my cheek, her perfume cloying and suffocating. Lena, darling, she trills. So glad you could make it. We have much to discuss. Grant emerges from his study, looking haggard. Lena, he says, reaching for my hand. I sidestep his touch, moving towards the dining room. Let's just get this over with, I mutter. The meal is a masterclass in passive aggression. Vivian dominates the conversation, prattling on about company successes and social engagements. I push food around my plate, my appetite long gone. Oh, Lena, Vivian says suddenly, her tone saccharine. I forgot to mention, the Hendersons' charity gala is next month. I've taken the liberty of declining your invitation. I'm sure you understand, given the circumstances. The fork clatters from my hand. Excuse me? Vivian sighs dramatically. Well, dear, it would be awkward, wouldn't it? Especially since Tessa will be attending as Grant's +1. I turn to Grant, fury building. Is this true? He at least has the decency to look uncomfortable. Lena, it's not personal. It's just business. Tessa has connections that could really benefit the company. Not personal? I laugh bitterly. You're parading your mistress around at events I've attended for years, and it's not personal? Now, Lena, Vivian interjects. There's no need for hysterics. We're all adults here. Sometimes sacrifices must be made for the greater good of the family. The greater good? I stand abruptly, my chair scraping against the floor. And what exactly is my place in this greater good, Vivian? To sit quietly at home while my husband flaunts his affair in public. Grant rises, his face flushed. That's enough, Lena. You're embarrassing yourself. I'm embarrassing myself? My voice rises, years of pent-up frustration finally boiling over. You're the one who threw away our marriage for a cheap fling. Tessa is not a cheap fling. Grant shouts back. She understands me, supports my ambitions. When was the last time you did that? The room falls silent, the weight of his words hanging in the air. I feel as if I've been slapped. I have supported you every step of the way, I say quietly, my voice shaking with anger. I've been your wife, your secretary, your accountant. I've sacrificed my own dreams for yours. And this is how you repay me. Vivian clears her throat. Perhaps it's time we discuss some more? Permanent arrangement. A divorce settlement that's fair to all parties. I whirl on her. Fair? You want to talk about fair? How about the fact that I've dedicated years of my life to this family, only to be tossed aside like yesterday's garbage? Now. Clark speaks up for the first time, his voice calm but firm. Let's all take a breath here. But I'm beyond taking breaths. Years of suppressed emotions come pouring out. You've never accepted me, have you, Vivian? I've never been good enough for your precious son, or your precious company. Well, guess what? I don't need your acceptance anymore. I don't need any of this. I storm out of the dining room, my heart pounding. As I reach for my coat, I hear footsteps behind me. Lena, wait. It's Clark, his eyes filled with concern. Don't leave like this. I pause, my hand on the doorknob. I can't stay here, Clark. I can't keep pretending everything's okay when it's so clearly not. He nods, understanding in his gaze. I know, but before you go, I want you to know something. You deserve better than this. You deserve to be happy. His words hit me like a punch to the gut. For the first time in years, someone in this family is seeing me, really seeing me. Thank you, I whisper, fighting back tears. As I drive away from the Whitmore mansion, a strange sense of calm washes over me. The confrontation, as painful as it was, has brought clarity. I can't change Grant or Vivian, but I can change my own path. My phone buzzes with a text from Maya. How'd it go? Need me to hide a body? I laugh despite myself, feeling lighter than I have in months. I may have lost my place in the Whitmore family, but I haven't lost myself. It's time to start building a life on my own terms. As I pull into my driveway, a plan begins to form. The Whitmore name may open doors, but I'm ready to kick them down myself. They think they can push me aside? They have no idea what I'm capable of. The game has changed, and I'm done playing by their rules. The morning sun streams through the curtains as I zip up the last of my suitcases. My hands tremble slightly, but my resolve is firm. After last night's disastrous family dinner, I know there's no going back. A soft knock at the door makes me jump. Lena? Grant's voice is hesitant. Can we talk? I take a deep breath, steeling myself. There's nothing left to say, Grant. He enters anyway, his eyes widening at the sight of my packed bags. What are you doing? What does it look like? I snap, hefting a duffel bag onto my shoulder. I'm leaving. Grant's face pales. Leaving? But where will you go? That's not your concern anymore. I brush past him, dragging my suitcase towards the stairs. He follows, his voice tinged with panic. Lena, please. We can work this out. I'll end things with Tessa, I promise. I whirl around, anger flaring. It's too late for that. You've made your choice, Grant. Now I'm making mine. As I reach for the front door, it swings open. Vivian stands there, her face a mask of disapproval. Going somewhere, dear? I straighten my spine, meeting her gaze. As a matter of fact, I am. Goodbye, Vivian. She blocks my path, her voice low and threatening. Think carefully about what you're doing, Lena. You walk out that door, you lose everything. No, I say, surprising myself with the strength in my voice. I'm not losing anything. I'm gaining my freedom. With that, I push past her and step into the sunlight. The weight of years of suppressed emotions lifts from my shoulders as I load my car. I don't look back as I drive away, leaving behind the gilded cage of the Whitmore estate. An hour later, I'm sitting in Maya's cozy apartment, a steaming mug of tea in my hands. She listens intently as I recount the events of the past few days. I'm proud of you, Lena, she says, squeezing my hand. It takes guts to walk away from all that. I nod, fighting back tears. I don't know what to do now. Who am I without the Whitmore name? Maya's eyes light up. You're Lena, the smartest, most capable woman I know. And now you have the chance to prove it to yourself. Her words spark something inside me. For the first time in years, I feel a glimmer of excitement about the future. You're right, I say, sitting up straighter. I've spent so long living Grant's dreams. It's time to focus on my own. Over the next few days, Maya's apartment becomes a war room of sorts. We brainstorm ideas, poring over job listings and business plans. My background in accounting is solid, but it doesn't ignite the passion I'm looking for. It's not until we're planning Maya's sister's baby shower that inspiration strikes. As I coordinate vendors, design invitations, and manage the budget, I realize I'm in my element. Maya, I say, excitement bubbling up. I think I've found it. Found what? My calling. Event planning. It combines everything I'm good at: organization, finance, creativity. And I already have connections in the industry from all those Whitmore galas. Maya grins. It's perfect. You'd be amazing at it. The next few weeks are a whirlwind of activity. I pour myself into research, taking online courses, and reaching out to industry contacts. To my surprise, many are eager to work with me, impressed by my skills and reputation. As I'm sketching out a business plan one evening, my phone buzzes with a text from Clark. Heard the news. Proud of you, kiddo. Let me know if you need anything. His support brings tears to my eyes. At least one member of the Whitmore family still believes in me. The day I receive my first client booking is a milestone. It's a small corporate event, nothing like the lavish galas I'm used to, but it's mine. As I hang up the phone, a sense of accomplishment washes over me. I did it, I whisper to myself. I'm really doing this. That night, as Maya and I celebrate with a bottle of wine, my phone rings. It's Grant. My hand hovers over the screen, tempted to ignore it. But something compels me to answer. Lena, his voice is strained. I heard about your new business. Congratulations. Thank you, I say cautiously. There's a long pause. I miss you, he finally says. The company, it's not the same without you. Maybe we could. No, Grant. I interrupt, my voice firm. I'm building something of my own now. Something that doesn't depend on the Whitmore name or your approval. As I end the call, I feel a surge of pride. The road ahead won't be easy, but for the first time in years, I'm excited about the journey. Maya raises her glass in a toast. To new beginnings, she says. I clink my glass against hers, a genuine smile spreading across my face. To new beginnings, I echo. And to the woman I'm becoming. The headline on my phone screen makes me pause mid-sip of my morning coffee. Whitmore Industries stock plummets amid leadership concerns. I can't help but feel a twinge of satisfaction mixed with concern. Looks like your ex is having a rough time, Maya comments, peering over my shoulder. I nod, scrolling through the article. Grant's always been ambitious, but he's in over his head. And Tessa, she's not exactly known for her business acumen. As if on cue, my phone buzzes with a text from Clark. Things are getting messy here. Grant's making rash decisions. Vivian's on the warpath. Be careful. I frown, a knot forming in my stomach. Despite everything, I can't help but worry about the company I dedicated years of my life to. You okay? Maya asks, sensing my unease. I shake it off, forcing a smile. I'm fine. I've got my own problems to focus on, like making sure this charity event goes off without a hitch. The next few days are a whirlwind of activity as I throw myself into planning the annual Children's Hospital Gala. It's my first major event since starting my business, and I'm determined to prove myself. As I'm coordinating with vendors, my phone rings. It's an unknown number. Lena Whitmore speaking. I answer professionally. Lena, it's me. Grant's voice is strained. I need your help. I freeze, caught off guard. Grant?
What's going on?
He sighs heavily. The company's in trouble. We're hemorrhaging money. Investors are pulling out. I don't know what to do. Part of me wants to hang up, to tell him it's not my problem anymore. But I can't ignore the years we spent building this company together. What about Tessa? I ask, unable to keep the bitterness from my voice. Isn't she your partner now? Grant's laugh is hollow. Tessa's idea of crisis management is to throw money at the problem. She's making things worse. I pinch the bridge of my nose, conflicted. I'm sorry, Grant, but I can't just drop everything and come running back. I have my own business now, my own responsibilities. I understand, he says, his voice small. I miss your insight, your steadiness. I've made a mess of things, Lena. The call ends, leaving me with a mix of emotions. I push them aside, focusing on the task at hand. The gala is tomorrow, and I have no time for distractions. The night of the event arrives, and I'm a bundle of nerves. As guests begin to arrive, I scan the room, making sure everything is perfect. The decor is elegant, the music is just right, and the silent auction items are displayed prominently. "Lena," a familiar voice calls out. I turn to see Clark approaching, a warm smile on his face.
Clark.
"I didn't expect to see you here," I say, genuinely pleased. He chuckles. "Wouldn't miss it. You've done an incredible job." As we chat, I notice a commotion near the entrance. My heart sinks as I see Grant stumbling in, Tessa on his arm. They're both clearly intoxicated. "Oh no," I mutter. Clark follows my gaze, his expression darkening. "I'll handle this," he says, moving towards them. But it's too late. Grant spots me and lurches forward. "Lena," he calls out, too loudly. "There you are. Always the perfect hostess, aren't you?" Tessa giggles, her eyes glassy. "Oh look, it's the ex-wife. How quaint." I plaster on a smile, acutely aware of the curious glances from nearby guests. "Grant, Tessa, I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to leave. This is a private event." Grant's face contorts with anger. "Leave? You can't make me leave. Do you know who I am?" "A drunk fool making a scene at a charity event," Clark interjects, appearing at my side. "Come on, son. Let's go home." As Clark leads him away, I struggle to maintain my composure. The event coordinator in me takes over, smoothing ruffled feathers and redirecting attention to the silent auction. Despite the hiccup, the gala is a resounding success. As the last guests depart, I finally allow myself to breathe. "You did it, Lena," Maya says, hugging me tightly. "This was amazing." I smile, exhausted but exhilarated.
Thanks, Maya.
"I couldn't have done it without you." As we're cleaning up, my phone buzzes with a text. It's from Mrs. Henderson, one of the city's most prominent socialites. "Brilliant event, Lena. I'd love to discuss you planning my annual summer soiree." My heart soars. This is the opportunity I've been waiting for. Just then, Clark reappears, looking weary. "Lena, we need to talk," he says gravely. "Things at Whitmore Industries are worse than you know. And I think you might be the only one who can help." I stare at him, torn between my newfound success and the pull of my past. As the weight of his words sinks in, I realize that the real challenge is just beginning. The question is, am I ready to face it? The Whitmore Industries building looms before me, a glass and steel monolith that once felt like a second home. Now, it's a reminder of everything I've lost and everything I've gained. I take a deep breath, squaring my shoulders as I push through the revolving doors. Clark's words echo in my mind. "Things are worse than you know, Lena. We need your help." The elevator ride to the executive floor is tense. As the doors slide open, I'm met with chaos. Employees hurry about, their faces etched with worry. The usual hum of productivity has been replaced by a nervous energy. "Lena?" A familiar voice catches me off guard. I turn to see Grant, his appearance a far cry from the polished executive I remember. His suit is rumpled, dark circles under his eyes betraying his exhaustion. "What are you doing here?" he asks, a mix of hope and wariness in his voice. "Clark called me," I reply, keeping my tone neutral. "He said you needed help." Before Grant can respond, a shrill voice cuts through the air. "What is she doing here?" Vivian storms towards us, her face a mask of fury. "Haven't you done enough damage?" I stand my ground, meeting her glare. "I'm here because your son and your husband asked for my help, Vivian. Whether you like it or not, I know this company better than anyone." Vivian's eyes narrow, but before she can retort, Clark appears. "Thank God you're here, Lena," he says, relief evident in his voice. "We need to talk. All of us." The boardroom is eerily quiet as Clark lays out the dire situation. Mismanagement, poor investments, and a series of PR disasters have left Whitmore Industries on the brink of collapse. And where's Tessa in all this? I can't help but ask, noticing her absence. Grant winces. "She
She left.
Took a hefty severance package with her. I bite back a bitter laugh.
Of course she did.
As the meeting progresses, I find myself slipping back into my old role, identifying problems and proposing solutions. It's clear that my intimate knowledge of the company's workings is desperately needed. Hours pass in a blur of spreadsheets and strategy sessions. As night falls, we finally take a break. I step out onto the balcony, needing a moment to clear my head. You're a lifesaver, you know that? Grant's voice startles me. He joins me at the railing, his presence both familiar and foreign. I turn to face him, really looking at him for the first time in months. The arrogance that had consumed him is gone, replaced by a haunted look. Why did you do it, Grant? I ask, the question that's been burning inside me finally spilling out. Was I not enough? He flinches, unable to meet my gaze. I was a fool, Lena. Drunk on power and my own ego. I thought I needed someone who could keep up with my ambitions, but all I did was destroy the best thing in my life. His words hang in the air between us. Part of me wants to comfort him, to fall back into the familiar pattern of our relationship. But I've come too far to go back now. I'm not here for you, Grant. I say firmly. I'm here for the company, for the employees who depend on it. And I'm here for myself, to prove that I'm more than just your wife. He nods, a mix of sadness and understanding in his eyes. I know, and I'm grateful, even if I don't deserve your help. We're interrupted by Vivian, who bursts onto the balcony. What's going on here? She demands, her eyes darting between us suspiciously. Nothing that concerns you, Mother, Grant says wearily. Vivian's face contorts with rage. This is all your fault, she hisses at me. You've turned my son against me, poisoned this company with your influence. I've had enough. Years of pent-up frustration and anger finally boil over. No, Vivian, y snap. You did this. Your manipulation, your constant undermining, your refusal to see anyone but yourself as worthy. You're the poison here. The silence that follows is deafening. Vivian staggers back, as if physically struck. For the first time, I see fear in her eyes. Grant steps between us. She's right, Mother, he says quietly. It's time for things to change. As Vivian storms off, I feel a weight lift from my shoulders. I turn to Grant, my decision clear. I'll help save the company, I tell him. But after that, I'm done. I have my own path to follow now. He nods, a mixture of regret and respect in his eyes. I understand. And Lena, thank you. As I walk back into the boardroom, ready to face the challenges ahead, I feel a sense of purpose I haven't experienced in years. The road won't be easy, but for the first time in a long time, I'm excited about the future, a future I'm building on my own terms. The real work is just beginning, but so is my new life. And I'm ready for both. The buzz of excitement fills the air as I make my final rounds, ensuring every detail is perfect for the grand opening of Lena Whitmore Events. The venue, a renovated warehouse, sparkles with elegant decorations and soft lighting. It's a far cry from the opulent Whitmore galas, but it's mine, and that makes it more beautiful than any crystal chandelier. Maya appears at my side, beaming. Lena, this is incredible. I can't believe how far you've come in just a few months. I squeeze her hand, grateful for her unwavering support. I couldn't have done it without you. As guests begin to arrive, I'm overwhelmed by the turnout. Former colleagues, new clients, and even a few familiar faces from my Whitmore days fill the space. Each congratulation, each word of praise, feels like a validation of my journey. Quite the accomplishment, kiddo, a familiar voice says. I turn to see Clark, his eyes twinkling with pride. Clark, I'm so glad you could make it, I say, embracing him warmly. He looks around, clearly impressed. You've built something special here, Lena. I always knew you had it in you. As we chat, I notice a commotion near the entrance. My heart skips a beat as I see Grant walk in, looking uncertain and out of place. Our eyes meet across the room, and for a moment, I'm transported back to that first party when everything began to unravel. But this time, I'm not the insecure wife standing in his shadow. I'm Lena Whitmore, successful businesswoman, and master of my own destiny. Grant makes his way over, fidgeting with his tie. Lena, this is amazing. Congratulations. Thank you, Grant, I reply, surprised by the genuine warmth in my voice. How are things at Whitmore Industries? He nods, a hint of his old confidence returning. Better, thanks to your help. We're not out of the woods yet, but we're getting there. An awkward silence falls between us, years of history hanging in the air. Finally, Grant speaks again, his voice low. I was a fool, Lena. I threw away the best thing in my life because I was too blind to see what I had. I take a deep breath, feeling the last remnants of anger and hurt begin to fade. We both made mistakes, Grant, but I'm grateful for where they led me. He smiles sadly. You deserve all of this, Lena. I'm happy for you, truly. As Grant moves away to mingle, I feel a sense of closure wash over me. The past no longer has a hold on me. I'm free to embrace my future fully. The evening progresses in a whirlwind of introductions, toasts, and potential business discussions. As I circulate, I overhear snippets of conversation that make my heart swell with pride. Did you hear? She single-handedly saved Whitmore Industries. I heard the governor wants her to plan the annual charity ball. She's the one who organized that incredible children's hospital gala. As the night winds down, I find a quiet moment to slip outside. The cool air is a welcome relief after the bustling energy inside. I look up at the stars, marveling at how much has changed in such a short time. There you are, Maya says, joining me. Hiding from your own party? I laugh, just taking a moment to breathe it all in. She links her arm through mine. So, how does it feel to be the toast of a town? I consider her question, searching for the right words. It feels
Right.
like I've finally found my place in the world. Maya nods, understanding in her eyes. You know, when you first showed up at my door that night, I was worried. But look at you now. You're unstoppable, Lena Whitmore. Tears prick at my eyes, but they're tears of joy and gratitude.
Thank you, Maya.
For everything. As we head back inside, I'm struck by a sudden realization. The empire Grant toasted to all those months ago wasn't meant to be his at all. It was mine, waiting for me to claim it. The party begins to wind down, guests departing with warm wishes and promises of future collaborations. As the last few stragglers make their way out, I find myself alone in the center of the room. I close my eyes, savoring the moment. The fear and uncertainty that once plagued me have been replaced by a quiet confidence. I've faced betrayal, heartbreak, and self-doubt, and emerged stronger for it. Opening my eyes, I take in the space around me, the tangible proof of my resilience and determination. This is more than just a business. It's a testament to the power of reinvention, of finding strength in adversity. As I gather my things, ready to close this chapter and open the next, I smile to myself. The journey has been difficult, but the destination has been worth every step. I switch off the lights, casting one last glance over my shoulder at the empty venue. Tomorrow, the real work begins. But tonight, I'll celebrate how far I've come and dream of how much further I can go. Lena Whitmore, event planner extraordinaire, is just getting started. And the future? It's looking brighter than ever.